Hey guys, how's it going? It's DeBoss here with another video, and today guys I'm finally going to be answering the Q&A questions that you guys left me. Thank you to everybody who participated in the question and answer that we had going on here. So without any further ado guys, let's get right into the questions. We have a fair amount of them to go through. First one that we got here comes from Nukapia Demon, and one of his joke questions he asked here was, when is his meme showcase? Whenever I get around to doing it, Demon. Once I remember who you are, we'll talk. But his secondary joke question before we get to the actual ones was, when am I not going to suck at Crash Twinsanity? I will stop sucking at Crash Twinsanity playing the game when Activision actually makes a good version of the game for a remake. So getting into the start of Demon's actual questions, the first one he asked me here was, what was one bad Crash game that I played that wasn't Crash Bandicoot Twinsanity? Now, I know there are a lot of other Crash games that exist out there, specifically on the Nintendo DS, that are just atrocious, but for me personally, the other game would probably have to be Wrath of Cortex, just because Wrath of Cortex, for all intents and purposes, is a solid game on its own merit, but it does such a terrible job trying to replicate the original trilogy and what made it great. Almost every single thing that it tried to do, from the vehicle segments to the platforming to everything else, it was just a downgrade. And while a mediocre game on its own, it's not the best Crash game, and it's probably the other worst one that I personally played. Next question Demon had here was, how is coronavirus being handled in my area? First off, thank you for the concern, man. I appreciate the question. As far as it's going about as well as it can. There's not too many COVID cases in my current area and whatnot, and I haven't really heard any big news concerning like there being a massive outbreak of it or anything like that. I'm basically just doing my area as a whole is fine for the moment. Otherwise, though, I'm just doing what everyone else is doing, kind of staying safe as much as possible, and waiting for the day when the pandemic subsides, whenever that may be. So Demon's next question we had here was, what's a game that I'm looking forward to either this year or next year that hasn't released yet? Gotta be honest, Demon, I've been playing Crash 4, which has been my most anticipated release this year, because I'm a huge Crash fan. It's one of my favorite game franchises. And besides that game, there weren't really any other games that I really wanted to play, per se. Doom Eternal was one that released, as well as like Jedi Fallen Order. I know that was the end of last year. Those are two other games that I played that I really loved. But otherwise, though, some other games that are catching my eye are Cyberpunk 2077. I'm curious about that one. Dying Light 2 is another one I'm curious about as well, considering the Dying Light franchise, in my opinion, with even two games in, is a pretty unique take. So there's a few games here that I'm looking forward to, but nothing like groundbreaking like Crash. So Demon's next question is, what game are you playing a lot right now? As of late, as of the past week or two, I've been playing Crash Bandicoot 4 a lot. It's the game that has been my main focus. I made a New Year's resolution at the beginning of 2020, even before all this stuff happened, that I was going to experience a bunch of different video games that I never played, and Crash 4 was announced at the right time for this resolution, so I've been playing this game a lot. There's a lot of other games that I've played, and there's a lot of games I still want to play, like even after this one. Not just part of my resolution, but I'll probably play next year too for a new resolution kind of thing. But as of late, Crash Bandicoot 4. And Demon's last question that he had here was, what am I looking forward to most in 2021? Well, first of all, hopefully a better year than 2020. 2020 has probably been one of the worst, at least recent years in history, for a variety of reasons, especially because of the coronavirus and all the other horrible things that have been happening this year. But I'd say all in all, though, one of the things I'm looking forward to the most is having a good year, hopefully enjoying, having a lot of great experiences, and of course doing something along the lines of, because next semester, actually, not next semester, but 2 semesters in, I'll graduate with my first degree in college, so I'm looking forward to that as well. It's not going to be the end of my college experience, of course. I still have other things that I have to do, including going for a master's. But other than that, though, I'm looking forward to a lot of different achievements like that. And again, hopefully a better year overall. So thank you, Demon, for your questions, man. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for they're really good questions. Thank you. So the next set of questions that we have here comes from another creator known as Oshka Schindler. I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name. I'm not the greatest when it comes to usernames, period. So it's my ignorance, not you. So with that in mind, though, his next 3 questions he had here. The first one, which was, what is my favorite movie? To be honest, favorite video game, I have like a top 10 list I love to keep, and I have like definitely 2 games and possibly a third one on that list, and that's something I like to keep like track of. But favorite movie, though, I don't know. I do have movies that are personal favorites of mine. One last year was Knives Out. It was a fantastic murder mystery movie that I really did enjoy. Thinking back on it, I'm trying to think of like other movies that really stood out to me, and there's a few that I know that I'm trying to think of, but I'm not going to remember. But I think a notable one for me for like 2019 was Knives Out, so I'm going to go with this one for that question. It's not my favorite movie, but it's a favorite of mine. Oscar's next question he had here was, out of the remastered games in the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy, which game in that trilogy is my personal favorite? Personally, despite the limitations and despite how botched some of the vehicles were, namely the jet ski, I'm still going to go with Crash Bandicoot Warped. It's my personal favorite out of the original series. When it comes to gamers and even diehard Crash fans as a whole, it really comes down to Crash Bandicoot 2 or 1, depending on or Crash Bandicoot 2 and 3, about which one's the best. Me personally, I like 3 for everything varied that it does and improves on from 2. 2 is a good game. It's definitely the best all-around platforming experience, but 3 just is so much bright. So I'm going to go with 3. And Asuka's last question is, and this is something I don't think I've ever answered for any Q&A ever, and that is, what celebrity crush do I currently have the hots on? Celebrity crushes aren't something that I'm usually into, but if I had to choose one, probably, and this is probably going to bite me in the ass at some point, but this is an actress called Danielle Panabaker. She's very attractive, very nice woman from the look of it. She does a lot of different charity stuff and whatnot, and she's also part of a favorite TV show of mine called The Flash, which is on the CW, based off of the DC Comics character. She plays Caitlin Snow and Killer Frost on there, so she's nice looking, is what I'll say. So if I had to pick a crush, probably her. And thank you, Asuka, for your questions, man. I really do appreciate it. You asked some really good ones there as well, same as Demon. But the last question we have here comes from Ayla Blitz. Again, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this right, so I apologize if I don't. But her question was, what is my most anticipated game of all time? As in, what my ideal game would be. If I had to choose, what game I would love to have made, if that's what you're asking, in the future, there are, first off, Devil May Cry 6 would be one for me. I would love to see a follow-up from Devil May Cry 5. Devil May Cry is one of my favorite game series, and I would love to see Devil May Cry 6, especially since this entire year, 5 of the games that I've played, of the 27 so far, have been all the Devil May Cry games. So Devil May Cry 6 would be one I would love to see. Another one I would love to see is a traditional Metroidvania Castlevania game. Either that, which, coming from Konami, isn't really saying much, because Konami has done bad things with the license the past few years, so basically nothing. But another traditional Metroidvania Castlevania game like Symphony of the Night, and or a follow-up to Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, which I hope Koji Igarashi comes out with, because I really enjoyed Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. It was a really good Metroidvania and a fantastic follow-up or series successor to Castlevania. So probably any one of those games as of right now. This is going to do it for these questions, guys. Thank you so much for asking, everyone who participated. I really do appreciate it. You guys had some really good questions in there, and I enjoy doing this. But if you guys have any questions that you would like to ask for the next Q&A, keep an eye out for a Q&A announcement video. I'll do something similar like the one I announced. So if you guys want to get involved for that one, just wait till that video comes out and we'll organize it from there. Otherwise, guys, hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you guys want to answer these questions yourself in the comments, feel free. Otherwise, comment your thoughts and feelings down below. Give the video a like if you did enjoy, and subscribe to the channel to catch more videos like this, as well as game reviews, skits, and other kinds of content. With that in mind, guys, thank you once again so much for watching, and until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.